I'm back. Woohoo! I'm sure no one cares, and I know I look like hell today, but you know what? Let's just leave that alone. So if that's the only comment you have to say, something about how I'm fat or look like shit or whatever, just don't bother because I really already know it and don't really care. And don't pay attention to this. It's just dirty laundry that needs to be done. I haven't done yet. And my heating pad I use every day, so I just throw it here behind me. Anyway, I saw something this week pop up on the news and it annoyed me, so I want to address it. Warren Buffett, he's a billionaire. And I'm not saying that the man isn't smart and whatever, but he's a little out of touch with reality. He brought out a list that says poor people waste money on these 12 things. And I laughed and laughed because I'm like, most of these things you're talking about, poor people can't afford to begin with. So how are we wasting money on them? But anyway, I'm going to go over the list really quickly. Neglecting personal development, which I can agree with in a way, but in another way, it's not true because we don't have the money to go to school and take classes and stuff. And a lot of us don't qualify for financial aid. And then I wouldn't ever advise anyone to take out a student loan after the hell that I went through at 18 years old, being stupid and not realizing what loans were and how the whole system worked, because I didn't learn that in school, and my parents were not that great with money, unfortunately, and so they didn't really teach me and didn't explain it to me, so I had no clue. But I can tell you, after I took out an $8,000 loan at 18 years old, at 40, I still owed $11,000 after I had paid back at least 3 times the amount of the loan to begin with. And I have proof of that if anybody wants to say, oh, that's not how it works. It does. When you can't afford to make the payments and you go into default, that interest compounds and compounds. Like I said, I took out 8 and at one time owed 24. When I went on disability at 40, I still owed them $10,000. And that's after paying on it for many years and off and on, doing payment plans with them. So I still owed $10,000 when I went on disability, and luckily that got written off because I went on disability. Otherwise, to this day, I'd still owe them money, and it would still be compounding interest every day. The next thing he said was relying on credit cards, which I giggled because most poor people I know, actual poor people, don't have credit cards. We don't qualify for credit cards. I mean, I have a few, but I only got mine once I got my credit score back up above 650. And most true poor people don't have a 650 credit score. And if you do get a credit card, it's going to be one that you have to pay for them to give you the credit card. And we don't have the money to pay up front to give them credit cards. We barely have money to pay the bills we have. We can't afford to pay to have a credit card. Give me a break. Frequenting bars and pubs. Most true poor people I know drink at home because we can't afford $8 for a drink at a bar. What poor people do you know? I would really love to know where you got this information from, Mr. Buffett, because I think you're out of touch with reality and you don't know any actual poor people. Chasing the latest technology. Oh, yes, right. Because every poor person I know has an iPhone. Nope. What I'm working on now is a Moto G. It was the cheapest phone I could afford when I went to get a phone. That's it. We don't have fancy phones and we don't get to chase the latest technology because we can't afford to pay for it. Because food and rent comes before technology, and every poor person would tell you that. Overspending on clothes. Yeah, what? We go to Walmart and spend too much at Walmart on clothes? I have clothes that are over 10 years old because I can't afford to buy clothes all the time because fat people clothes, especially for someone like me, are expensive. I wear my clothes till they're worn out with holes and whatever, and they ain't even good enough to donate because they're so worn out and I've worn them for so long. So I don't know where you got that from. Buying new cars, haha. We don't qualify for financing on a new car when you're truly poor. They're not going to give you a car when you can barely pay your rent and your bills. You're not going to qualify for financing on a new car. Most people I know have old cars that are broke down even. Like I got 2 out there. Iris and Betty are sitting out in front of the house. Still ain't running, neither one of them. Because I can't afford to fix them. That's how real poor people live. So, and most poor people, I know several that don't even have a car because they can't afford to upkeep on a car. They can't afford the insurance and they can't afford to keep gas in it because they can barely afford to pay bills. So nope, no car or a car that's a piece of poo-poo. That's what they've got. Unused gym memberships, I doubt it because that would be the first thing that we would let go. We wouldn't sit and pay for a gym membership if we weren't using it. Not somebody who's truly struggling on money. Nope. You wouldn't even bother that $10 or $20 a month. If you're not using it, you would get rid of it. Unnecessary subscription services, that's another one. Yeah, we might have some subscription services, but I guarantee if we're not using them, we're going to shut them off because we have to pay bills. And we can't afford to pay for something we're not using. I've turned off my Hulu, Netflix, Disney, all those. I've turned them off and on so many times, I'm surprised they still let me get them back. Over-reliance on skincare products, this one made me giggle too. I'm like, really? we don't buy expensive skincare products because, once again, no money. These are luxuries that real poor people can't afford. We buy the cheapest skincare products that we can buy, and most of us don't use any at all. I mean, look at my face. You see skincare products on this face? Nope. I wash it with soap and water. That's it. Every once in a while, I put sunscreen on because you should, because I live in Florida, and Jesus, Florida sun is terrible. So, regular nights out. What the hell is he talking about? Nights out include a pizza at home from the freezer. There ain't no nights out. We don't go to movies and out to dinners and stuff like that. We can't afford it. And the other one that's another one on here, gambling. Who the hell is poor and goes to a casino? We don't have money to blow like that. That's a luxury we don't have and we can't afford. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe because we buy lottery tickets every once in a while, but we're not going to casinos and shit and gambling. We don't have money for that. I don't know anybody no poor people I know do that. What poor people did you survey, and who the hell do you know that's poor, Mr. Buffett? Because obviously it ain't somebody that's actually poor. It's somebody that you just consider poor, and that ain't the same thing. And then smoking. Every poor person I know that smokes, that's the very first thing that they give up when they don't have any money. When they don't have money for the cigarettes, they can't buy them. So, yeah, they may smoke, but then when they run out of money for the month, that's it. So, I don't know what people you know that are poor or who you talk to, but your list is a little wonky and you're a little out of touch with reality. No offense, buddy, but you don't have a clue what you're talking about. I'd be happy to talk to you as an actual poor person and fill you in on what actually happens in the reality of the situation. Not what you obviously think is the reality that you obviously have no clue, because your list is a little bit off, bud.